BBOR Black Box Online Radio, coming to you from West Virginia. BlackBoxNed88 on Instagram for the bonus podcast. And just a quick reminder, every Monday is Zodiac Mondays. Wednesday is an Ask Me Anything. That's an AMA, so please drop your questions below for things that you would like discussed here on the show. And Friday is an Anything Goes. Any subject is fair game, mostly talking about true crime, serial killers, the Zodiac Killer, but any subject is welcome. All right, so please share some ideas in the comment section about what you would like to hear about on this channel, and let's get started. Okay, hello everybody. Today is Thursday, and on Thursdays this summer I've been doing a regular segment about the disappearance of Donna Lass, which occurred on September 6th, 1970. Before we begin, I would just like to provide a little bit of clarity, or make an announcement, so to speak, and that is that while this show is mostly a podcast that is available on YouTube, it is also available at LaunchPad 1. There's a link in the description box. And I would invite you to check out all the other episodes of LaunchPad 1. However, this one's going to be exclusively out on YouTube. I'm not sure if this is going to be a big episode or a small episode, but I'm going to show you several images of the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino where Donna Lass worked in 1970. She was last seen at 1:40 a.m. working her job at the nurses' station in this hotel casino, and Donna Lass was working the 6 p.m. to 2 a.m. shift, meaning that she would have gone into work on September 5th, and she was working until 2 a.m., supposed to be anyway. Nobody saw Donna Lass leave the building, and also there are no sightings of Donna after 1:40 a.m. when she was witnessed by a woman named Joan Bentley. After her shift was scheduled to end, Donna Lass had a planned meeting with a friend named Joanne Getchie. She's supposed to meet up with Donna, and most people believe that they were going to go to Donna's apartment, which should have been about a 3-minute drive from the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino. This is all in State Line, Nevada. Donna was living at the Monteverde apartment complex near Pioneer Trail Road, which would have been more or less a straight shot down Route 50, maybe just a little bit of turning in and out of a parking lot, but very close by. Google Maps says it's 3 minutes in a car, but Donna Lass was never seen again after that 1:40 a.m. sighting. So I would like to go over to a comment that was left on last week's episode, which was the Q&A, but it's from Anna Lisette. And Anna has sent me several excellent questions, which I wish I would have had for the Q&A because these are brilliant. Anna Lisette writes, "We need to know more about Donna's job. Was she to stay at her first aid station, or could she go out throughout the building to care for patients? Where was the first aid station situated? Was it far enough away from other people that someone could have attacked and molested Donna without being noticed?" I mean, that's an enormous question. I can't even begin to answer that one, but you do have some very strong insights. Here's one, though, that I can answer. Was the casino also a motel? Yes, it was indeed a hotel. Could Donna have been called to a room to administer first aid? Some murders have been done in motel rooms, and bodies have been disposed of in various ways. If she was killed in a room, might she have been taken out on a luggage cart? I mean, that's very grim and very morbid, but we do have to consider some type of possibility like that. Is it possible someone else who worked there did something to her? This is the stuff that I really wanted to talk about today. A janitor or a maintenance man. Could he have hidden her body in a secret or hidden spot, like underneath the building or in a garbage bin? I mean, look at all those questions there. That would have been excellent material for last week's Q&A, but because this is an ongoing series, I can get to it right now. Back when I was in high school, I was in the 9th grade, and I was walking down the hallway, and I saw a classmate, and he's like, "Hey, come here." And he went into the stairwell, and he's like, "Look, that camera points this way. The cameras below us point that way. This stairwell is a dead spot. No, there's no surveillance here." People pay attention to things like that. especially people who are up to no good, the kind of people that would abduct someone like Donna Lass. But before we get into more of that, was the casino also a motel? It's referred to as the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino, and it was, I mean, absolutely, it is a hotel. And also, Joanne Getchie, the friend who was supposed to meet up with Donna Lass, couldn't find her, so she waited for a while, and then she ended up spending the night in the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino before she returned to California. She rented a room there, or she checked into the hotel, that is. Now, during this episode, I wanted to go look at some of the photos of this place, and we're going to look at some of the photos of the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino, as well as some illustrations. And some of them are from 1967, some are from 1970. And the first thing I noticed about these depictions of the Sahara Tahoe is the front entrance looks very, very crowded. I mean, I don't care if it's 1:30, 1:45, 2 o'clock in the morning. I would expect that there would be people coming in and out. I don't think that anybody lured Donna Lass out of the front entrance of this building, because it looks like a place that would be well populated, even at that time of day. Now, back to Anna Lissette's question. Could it have been a maintenance man or a janitor, somebody like that? I mean, my instinct told me, what about a security guard, someone who's going to be watching, paying attention to people's routines, someone who may have noticed that Donna had walked into work that day because she was expecting to meet Joanne Getchie. They were going to go back in her car, possibly, using Joanne Getchie's car to go back to Donna's apartment complex and spend the Labor Day weekend there. Now, a security guard would have been paying attention, but that doesn't mean for a second that I can deliver any proof of that. That was just something that I had thought about. Now, the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino was also very popular because Elvis Presley performed there. And thanks to the wonders of Elvis fandom, there's even this Elvis at the Sahara Tahoe collector's pack that you can buy online, solely devoted to his performance there. And it comes complete with floor plans of the Sahara Tahoe, and I was really about to buy this thing just to get some of those floor maps. But looking at it a little bit more closely, it appears that it's mostly just of the theater, like the arena that is in the casino and hotel. So I will not get that immediately. But we should always remember that that would also be a place where it could have these types of dead spots. And Elvis's full performance from the Sahara Tahoe, May 8th, 1976, is available on YouTube for free. The music, that is. The Sahara Tahoe is a place that has been through a lot of renovation over the years. So let's keep going with some of these older photos, and we'll work back to the present day. There's one that really shows that the Sahara Tahoe is surrounded by large parking lots, and the parking lots have overhead street lamps. I mean, those like street lights, for lack of a better term. Very well lit, very easily noticeable. I also don't think anyone would have lured Donna out into the wide open parking lot, with the exception if it had been completely empty. Otherwise, that has so many ways that it could go wrong. But when we look at the entirety of the Sahara Tahoe Hotel where Donna last worked, you can see that there are mountains in the background, there's Lake Tahoe. If somebody had got her into a vehicle, they could have driven to countless places where they could have disposed of her body, or even worse, I mean, done something more horrible to her in the mountains, near that rural lakeside, in the wooded areas near Lake Tahoe. But I think Anna Lissette was rather proposing something about how, what if someone is working in the casino, or even someone who had lured her to a room, or somebody who had been a gambler there regularly and had been watching Donna Lass for an extended period of time. Someone who had familiarity with the hotel, and they knew that there was a place where they couldn't be checked out. So I decided to get on Google Maps, and first I'll show you a photo of the Sahara Tahoe in its present day. It is now the Hard Rock Hotel at the time of this recording, although its name changes very frequently. As you see, it looks completely different than it did in the past. Now, if somebody were to lure Donna Lass anywhere, yeah, hotel rooms, that could be one thing, but no witnesses have stated that they saw Donna Lass anywhere near any of the motel rooms, or hotel rooms, excuse me. No one saw her walking toward a stairwell or an elevator. No one says, oh, well, yeah, I saw a girl who looked like that on the 8th floor. No witness descriptions like that. Bear in mind, though, she did disappear at 1:40 in the morning. That was the last sighting of her. So when I was on Google Maps just messing around a little bit, I found some images of the Sahara Tahoe in its present day shape. And even if these exteriors are not 100% the same as they were in 1970, let's have a look. So most of the area surrounding the hotel is expansive, wide open parking lots with lots of street lights. I really don't believe that anyone would use any type of location like this to perform the abduction, especially if Anna Lissette is correct, or her question is holding some weight, that somebody like a janitor, a maintenance man, security guard, someone who had intense familiarity with the area. We should also partner this with Mike Morford's comment about how someone really seemed to have knowledge that this could come back to haunt them, because there's a prank phone call, or a hoax phone call rather than a prank, that comes after Donna has disappeared, and they say Donna Lass had a family emergency. No such emergency existed. It's frequently referred to as a prank. Now, if we look at this one photo, this is from behind the Sahara Tahoe, or it's really from behind the present-day Hard Rock Hotel. As you see, they have some outdoor houses. These look more like maintenance cabins, so to speak. And if we go 360 degrees around, we can see that there are outdoor staircases from the backside. Now we're getting somewhere. This seems like a closer or more reasonable way about where somebody would lure someone if they wanted to abduct them, or even what Morph said about the prank phone call, that somebody was trying to buy time. That's the only reason they would do that. If it had just been some dirtbag who was passing through and was just going to walk in, abduct Donna Lass, and walk out, they would not have made the phone call. There would be no reason to do that. That would be creating even more evidence that could hold them back. That would be creating more evidence that would slow them down, or it's creating another piece of evidence to link them to the crime scene. Someone's recognizing their voice, someone's dropping a clue. There would be no reason to do that. The reason why somebody would say that, call in, making this hoax call saying Donna Lass has a family emergency, is they wanted to buy time, because they were trying to cover something up. And if we look at this exterior shot, there are numerous doors that are in the back of the Sahara Tahoe, and even some of these outdoor staircases are like they have a place where you can walk underneath them. All kinds of dead spots that would not be very closely guarded. Not to mention, if we keep going around the Sahara Tahoe, there are numerous places like ramps, walkways, and even what Anna Lissette suggested about could somebody have hid her in a garbage bin. And by garbage bin, I think she means dumpster, but can you imagine something like a maintenance area, some type of thing that's off limits to the general public, or where the general public definitely would not go, and then maybe Donna Lass never even left the Sahara Tahoe alive. Things like that are definitely possible. And in this photo here, we can definitely see all kinds of places where there's like a mechanical industrial room, and then there's like a storage container that's definitely looks like a dumpster, so to speak. Now, could somebody have hid Donna in something like that? Well, absolutely. And I need to reemphasize the point that these are some images from the present day. I really do expect the exterior right on the ground behind the Sahara Tahoe in 1970 would have been very different, but you get the same general idea. Outdoor staircases, as well as someone is approaching Donna Lass. At 1:45 in the morning, she's supposed to complete her final log entry. It is incomplete. And they're just coming to her and saying, "Hey, you gotta come quickly. There's an emergency." "Well, where is it?" she asks. And they say, "Oh, it's just right outside behind the back door. Come, we gotta go fast. Somebody's hurt." And then Donna's never seen again. That person lures her to this area where there's a dead spot in the hotel that is outside of surveillance that the general public isn't going to frequent. Donna is abducted and murdered on or about the night of her disappearance. Then this person makes a prank phone call, hoax phone call, saying, "Hey, Donna has a family emergency. She's not coming into work," so they can destroy all the evidence. Then Donna's never seen from again, and she becomes an accused victim, or a potential victim of the Zodiac Killer. Unconfirmed victim, excuse me, that's the word I was looking for. Unconfirmed. She goes on to become an unconfirmed victim of the Zodiac Killer. As of now, I absolutely do not believe in the Zodiac connection, because I think it's rather flimsy, and instead it appears that people have gone to great lengths to try and connect Donna Lass to the Zodiac Killer, but all you really have are the pieces of writing, and then other people have filled in the gaps and tried to force the narrative. Instead, this seems like an opportunistic predator, most likely operating with a sexual motivation, although Donna Lass has not been found, so I can't even begin to speculate too much. But if I just have to tell you what I genuinely think, an opportunistic predator with a sexual motivation who found a dead spot in the Sahara Tahoe Hotel and Casino, lured her to a place where there was no surveillance. Maybe they even murdered Donna within the hotel. I mean, I don't believe any of the witness sightings after this are credible. Like, there's this one thing that's been repeated in a couple of the media sources that I was talking about last time, about how Donna Lass was last seen walking with a man who had blonde hair. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's credible. The way it's written, it feels like it is a fabrication, fantasy-filled journalism. Instead, I believe Donna Lass was murdered very close to the time of her disappearance. But what do you think? You can always weigh in the comment section, and if you do want to download some of the other episodes of this show, you can go over to LaunchPad 1. Also, feel free to visit the Teespring page, Amazon.com, for the book Killer on a White Horse. You can always like and subscribe to the channel. Follow along some of these weekly discussions about the disappearance of Donna Lass. And I am also the host of Astro Psych 400, another video series here on YouTube. Many things you can find in the description box. And Facebook, Instagram, and email. BlackBoxOnlineRadio at AOL.com if anybody wants to keep in touch. Alright, that's all for me now. I will see you over on Instagram, BlackBoxNerd88 over there for the bonus podcast. Until next time.